In the summer of 1974, the Brazilian team traveled to West Germany with a mission as heavy as a mountain to defend the Jules Rimet Cup they had won forever 4 years earlier. But the Brazil of 1974 was no longer the charming samba dancers of Mexico '70. No longer King Pelé, no longer Gerson or Tostão. The Seleção army of that year, under the hands of Mario Zagallo, had transformed into a more thorny, more pragmatic, and more European team to face the emerging total football whirlwind. They were a team of transition, carrying within them an obsession to win at all costs, even if it meant sacrificing their inherent beauty. Despite reaching the third-place playoff and losing to Poland, the class of 1974 left an indelible mark. It was an incredible journey of efforts to retain the crown, where defensive counter-attacking play interspersed with individual brilliance created a picture full of contradictions, but also full of tragedy. 50 years have passed since that German summer. Time, like a cruel river, has swept away youth, leaving only deep scars on the faces of those young men. After taking off the prestigious yellow and green jerseys, they returned to real life full of worries. Some became powerful godfathers, some retired, and sadly, some succumbed to their cruel fate when the final whistle of their lives sounded too soon. Today, let's turn back the pages of the files to listen to the life stories of those historical witnesses of that year. Marinho Chagas, the wild blonde wizard, is a Brazilian football phenomenon that no one can ignore. At the age of 22, Marinho came to Germany like a breath of fresh air, bringing with him his long, romantic blonde hair flying in the wind and the position of left back. Marinho refused to confine himself to the home field but always rushed forward like an arrow. Marinho is the embodiment of rebellion, of the free-spirited attacking style that Brazilians always crave. Marinho's dribbling runs along the sidelines are both a powerful weapon and a double-edged sword that has made the Brazilian defense falter many times. Marinho is beautiful, Marinho is talented, and Marinho is as wild as an untamed horse. Marinho's life after the World Cup was as turbulent and eventful as his playing career. He moved from club to club, from Botafogo, Fluminense to New York Cosmos in the U.S., where he played alongside legends like Beckenbauer. Marinho lived like a rock star, partying, women, and endless fun. He was generous, willing to give everything he had, but that generosity and his indulgent lifestyle gradually pushed him to a dead end. When his legs tired and the spotlight faded, Marinho faced loneliness and poverty. He struggled with alcoholism, which eroded both the body and spirit of the wizard of the past. It seemed that the freedom on the field had cruelly affected his life. Marinho did not know how to defend his life as he often forgot his position on the field. He lived fully for his emotions, and when the emotions passed, only pain remained. However, that journey full of ups and downs had to stop suddenly and tragically. On June 1, 2014, just a few days before the World Cup returned to his homeland, Brazil, Marinho Chagas breathed his last at the age of 62 due to gastrointestinal bleeding, the result of years of being immersed in alcohol. His passing left behind endless sorrow for a natural talent but lost its way. A brilliant shooting star but extinguished too quickly in the darkness of life. Emerson Leao, the iron goalkeeper and fiery personality at the age of 24, is the embodiment of solidity and tenacity in the goal. Contrary to the stereotype of Brazilian goalkeepers often making mistakes, Leao is a perfectionist to the extreme. He has lightning-fast reflexes, reasonable entry and exit, and a strong personality, sometimes to the point of arrogance. At the 1974 World Cup, Leao was one of the rare bright spots, keeping many clean sheets and only succumbing to the too unpredictable total play of the Dutch. Leao is a reliable stopper, a commanding shout that echoes throughout the defense. Leao's career spanned an astonishing 4 decades. After retiring from playing, he turned to coaching, and became one of Brazil's most famous, yet controversial, coaches, managing most of his home club teams and the national team. His fiery temper, iron discipline, and willingness to clash with the press or his star players were trademarks of Leao. He was a man of clear likes and dislikes, straightforward and uncompromising. In real life, Leao is also a family man but extremely private about his personal life. He owns large farms and spends time on agriculture when not coaching. His coaching career has had its ups and downs, but Leao has never given up. Today, at the age of 75, although he has left the top coaching bench, every time the name Emerson Leao is mentioned, people still remember a man of steel, who has devoted his life to protecting the goal and protecting his unchangeable principles. Roberto Rivellino was the soul of Brazil's 1974 style of play. At the age of 28, with the legendary number 10 shirt, Rivellino was famous for his thunderous left-footed shot dubbed atomic kick and the famous elastico, ball-picking technique. In a tournament where Brazil lacked many stars, Rivellino had to carry the entire attack. The 3 goals in that year's tournament were a testament to the class of a genius, an artist who strived to draw beautiful curves in the gray sky. After the 1974 World Cup, Rivellino continued to play at the top level for Fluminense and then retired to Saudi Arabia, becoming one of the first big stars to explore this land. After retiring, he became one of the most astute and prestigious football commentators in Brazil. He did not hesitate to criticize the mistakes of his juniors, but also always praised beauty. His life was quite fulfilling. He was honored as a king of football in the hearts of Corinthians and Fluminense fans. Rivellino's career and life seem to be a straight line of glory and respect. He knows how to maintain his image, not to fall into temptation. Today, at the age of 78, the mustache man is still healthy, his voice still resonant on television. He is a living dictionary of football, a bridge between the glorious past and the present, reminding the younger generation of the value of technique and dedication. Valdomiro Vaz Franco, or simply Valdomiro, arrived at the 1974 World Cup at the age of 28. He was not a player with superb technique like Garrincha or Jairzinho, but he was industrious and effective. Playing on the right wing, Valdomiro was a tireless worker, moving forward and back. His only goal of the tournament against Zaire was a fitting reward for his quiet efforts. He was an icon of Internacional, where he won numerous domestic titles. Away from the football field, Valdomiro chose a quiet life in his hometown. He did not pursue a professional coaching career, but spent much of his time on social and charity activities. He founded community football projects to help poor children, using his own name to bring life-changing opportunities to unfortunate lives. He lived a peaceful life, indifferent to fame and fortune, happy with his family and old friends. Today, at 78, Valdomiro is still affectionately known by the people of Porto Alegre as the Eternal Idol. He is living proof that the value of a player lies not only in his goals, but also in his kind heart and his silent contributions to the community after the stadium lights have gone out. Luis Pereira, the 24-year-old center-back from Palmeiras, brought a style of defensive artistry to Germany. He didn't just clear the ball, he played it right into his own penalty area. With his long legs and great aerial ability, he was likened to a powerful and luxurious Chevrolet. However, his red card against the Netherlands for a foul on Neeskens was a low note, marking Brazil's inability to play total football. However, Luis Pereira's talent is undeniable. After the tournament, he became a legend of Atletico Madrid in Spain. He loved Madrid and Madrid loved him. After retiring, Luis Pereira chose to stay in Spain, spending his life with the red and white stripes as a coach of the B team. His life was spent on the training ground, passing on his experience to the younger generation. He lived simply, modestly, and always kept an optimistic smile. What is admirable about Luis Pereira is his resilience and his pure love for football. He still put on his boots to play in senior tournaments when he was in his 50s and 60s. Today, at 75, he still lives in Madrid, still an integral part of the Atletico family. His journey is proof that football can become a second home, where a Brazilian man finds true happiness in his life. Marinho Chagas was Brazil's captain in 1974. At 27, a central defender, he was a rock in defense, known for his ability to read situations and make decisive tackles. Although not as flashy as the attacking stars, Marinho Chagas' role was irreplaceable. He was the rhythm keeper, the voice of Zagallo on the pitch, trying to maintain discipline in a team struggling to find its identity. His move to Barcelona immediately after the World Cup was the clearest proof of his class at that time. Marinho Chagas' post-retirement journey has been an exciting adventure. He embarked on a coaching career and achieved great success, especially in Portugal, where he is considered one of the best foreign coaches in the history of Sporting Lisbon. He also played a major role in guiding Luis Figo in his early career. Marinho Chagas' life passed peacefully with his wife and family. He was known as a gentleman, always smiling gently, in complete contrast to his pensive expression when he was playing. However, the law of birth, aging, sickness, and death spares no one. In the last years of his life, the former captain faced serious health problems after a stroke. And then, on September 18, 2023, Marinho Chagas passed away at the age of 76. His departure left a big void, not only for Brazilian football, but also for fans in Barcelona and Portugal. He left, taking with him the memory of a quiet but courageous leader. Jairzinho is a beacon of the past. At 29, the Hurricane is the only player from the legendary 1970 squad still playing a key role in attack. With the heavy responsibility of replacing Pelé to lead his younger team, Jairzinho fought with all he had. Although he could not repeat the feat of scoring in every match like 4 years ago, with 2 goals and a powerful style of play, he is still a constant threat, a spiritual support for a Seleção in a difficult transition period. After the 1974 tournament, Jairzinho continued his conquest in Europe with Marseille before returning home. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Jairzinho had a quite fulfilling post-retirement life and was closely attached to football. He did not choose to live a reclusive life, but actively participated in coaching and discovering young talents. His greatest achievement after hanging up his boots was probably not a trophy, but the discovery of alien Ronaldo Nazario when he was only 14 years old, opening a new chapter in the history of world football. Jairzinho's life is a testament to resilience and adaptability. From a speedy winger, he transformed himself into a teacher and a scout with a keen eye. He lived a respected life, away from noisy scandals. Today, at the age of 79, Jairzinho is still healthy and regularly appears in the media as a living legend. He still talks about his glorious days with undisguised pride, and his image remains a symbol of continuity between the golden generations of Brazilian football. Paulo Cesar Carpegiani, at 25, was the center of the midfield. Intelligent, calm, and possessing a tactical mind that transcended his time, Carpegiani controlled the play, helping Brazil balance attack and defense. Although not particularly physically imposing or fast, his gravel-like head helped Brazil control the game in many difficult moments. That tactical thinking led Carpegiani to become one of the greatest coaches in Brazilian football history. His peak was the Club World Cup with Flamengo in 1981, where he led Zico and his teammates to defeat Liverpool. He was a workaholic, serious and ambitious. His personal life was filled with tactical dioramas, long trips, and the pressure to perform. Today, at 75, Carpegiani is enjoying his retirement but has never really taken his eye off the game. He still occasionally takes on short-term coaching or consulting roles. He is the epitome of a footballing intellectual who has successfully transformed himself from a good player into a great general, leaving a huge legacy in South American football tactics. Paulo Cesar Caju, a 24-year-old striker, was a special case. He was a reserve member of the 1970 championship-winning squad and became a mainstay in 1974. His natural talent, skillful technique, and versatility allowed him to play in a number of attacking positions. However, off the field, Caju was a notorious playboy, indulging in a lavish lifestyle of parties and love affairs in Rio de Janeiro. After his peak years at Marseille and Brazilian clubs, Caju's life spiraled into tragedy with drugs and alcohol. He once admitted to selling his 1970 World Cup gold medal and his jersey to buy cocaine. He lost many properties, lost the respect of many people, and almost lost his life. But fortunately, Caju found the light at the end of the tunnel. He successfully kicked his addiction and rewrote his life. Now, at the age of 75, Paulo Cesar Caju is living a new life. He has become a speaker, traveling around telling the mistakes of youth to warn the next generation. He also works as a commentator and journalist. Caju's story is a valuable lesson in falling, but also a triumphant song about the strength to rise from the dark mud. Dirceu José Guimarães, or Dirceu, was the youngest member of the team that year at just 21 years old. This small but physically fit midfielder was known as the man without lungs. Dirceu ran all over the pitch, linking up the lines and always giving 200% of his strength. He was a modern, professional, and hard-working player who participated in 3 World Cups, 1974, 1978, 1982. Dirceu's career was a nomadic journey through a series of clubs in Brazil, Mexico, Spain, and especially Italy. He was loved everywhere for his dedicated playing attitude. He was a gentle, quiet, and emotional person. After retiring, Dirceu settled in Italy, opened a football school, and enjoyed a peaceful life with his family. He seemed to have it all, fame, money, and happiness. However, fate is ironic. On September 15, 1995, in Rio de Janeiro, Dirceu tragically passed away in a tragic traffic accident at the age of 43. A car lost control and took the life of the tireless bird right in his homeland. His sudden departure was a great shock, leaving behind endless grief for fans around the world, closing the journey of one of the most industrious and lovable players in the history of the Seleção. José Maria, a 25-year-old right-back for Corinthians, was a model of loyalty and tenacity. He and Nelinho formed an interesting rivalry on the right flank. At the 1974 World Cup, José Maria played 4 games with solidity and discipline. He was not as explosive in attack as his colleagues, but he was the safe stopper every coach would want. José Maria's entire career was spent with Corinthians. He was a symbol of the raça, fight to the end spirit. After retiring, he did not leave the team but continued to work at the club's complex. The most admirable thing about José Maria is his kindness. He spent most of his retirement working in reformatories, teaching football to young prisoners, helping them regain their faith in life. Today, at the age of 75, Super Zé is still working hard on his charity work. He lives a simple, humble life, taking the joy of helping others as his reason for living. He is proof that football has the power to transform people, and a great player is not only measured by the trophies he has won, but also by the lives he has saved. Nelinho, the 23-year-old right-winger with a devastating long-range shot. Despite only playing 3 games at the 1974 World Cup, Nelinho's potential was undeniable. He was an all-round attacking fullback who would go on to score one of the best goals in World Cup history against Italy in 1978 with an incredible banana-shaped flick. After a glittering career at Cruzeiro and Atlético Mineiro, Nelinho tried his hand at politics and business. He owns a large chain of gyms in Belo Horizonte and does television commentary. Nelinho is intelligent, sharp, and knows how to enjoy life. He keeps himself in shape and healthy through hard training. Now, at 74, Nelinho remains an influential figure in the state of Minas Gerais. He lives the life of a successful businessman, happily with his family. His story is a model of a successful transition from athlete to businessman, thanks to discipline and a sharp mind. Wilson Piazza, 31, was one of the veterans from Mexico 70. Originally a defensive midfielder but often moved to center back, Piazza played with experience and composure. At the 1974 World Cup, he only played 3 games before making way for younger players, but his leadership role in the dressing room was crucial. A legend of Cruzeiro, Piazza, after retiring, chose the path of fighting for the rights of players. He became the president of the Professional Players Association, trying to improve the lives and treatment of his colleagues. He also participated in the petrol business and was very successful. Piazza was a person of great prestige. His voice was always listened to by the Brazilian football world. Today, at 81, Wilson Piazza is enjoying a peaceful retirement. He is a beloved godfather of Cruzeiro football, a man who has dedicated his life to serving on the pitch and protecting the players' rights behind the scenes. Leivinha, the 24-year-old Palmeiras striker, brought poetry to Brazil's game. With his blonde hair and handsome face, Leivinha was graceful, elegant, and extremely effective in the air. Although he played only 3 games at the 1974 World Cup due to injury, he still managed to leave his mark with a flamboyant style of play. After the tournament, he and Luis Pereira moved to Atletico Madrid and became an idol there. His career was hampered by a knee injury, but every time he played, Leivinha brought joy. Away from the field, he chose a private life, away from the noise. He spent time with his family and occasionally appeared in Palmeiras or Atletico's anniversary events. Today, at 75, Leivinha lives peacefully in Sao Paulo. He is content with what he has, without regrets about the past. He is the image of a man who knows enough, finding happiness in everyday simplicity. Mirandinha, a 22-year-old striker for Sao Paulo, was a promising young talent at the 1974 World Cup. He played 4 games, bringing speed and aggression. However, a cruel fate befell him soon after the World Cup. In a match against America SP, he suffered a horrific broken leg, an injury that threatened to end his career. But Mirandinha did not give up. He endured painful surgeries and a long recovery to return to the field, although he was never again at his peak. After retiring, he worked as a coach and scout, engaging in community football. His determination to overcome adversity is an inspiration to many young players who have suffered injuries. Now, at the age of 72, Mirandinha is still involved in football at the grassroots level. He lives modestly, but is always proud that he has not succumbed to the challenges of fate. Edu is a strange case of Brazilian football, called up to the national team in 1966 at the age of 16. A true disciple of Pelé at Santos, possessing superb dribbling techniques. But at the 1974 World Cup, at the age of 24, he only played in one match. Edu was a victim of the pragmatic tactical thinking of the time, when technical beauty was ranked behind muscular strength. Nevertheless, Edu remains a Santos legend. After retiring, he became an ambassador for the club, traveling around the world to teach football and spread the love of the game. He always kept a bright smile and an optimistic spirit, never complaining about the past. He considered wearing the Brazilian national team shirt a great honor. Today, at the age of 75, Edu is still a regular at Santos's Vila Belmiro Stadium. He is a bridge of history, a keeper of the artistic values of Brazilian football, a precious gem that, although not shining brightest at the World Cup, still sparkles in his own way. Alfredo Mostarda, a 27-year-old midfielder for Palmeiras, arrived in Germany as a substitute. He only played one game, the third-place match against Poland. However, Alfredo was a key part of the Palmeiras Academy in the 1970s, known for its strong and aggressive style of play. After retiring, Alfredo lived a very normal life. He worked for small teams, participated in youth training, and lived the life of a real working person. He had no halo, no wealth, but he had the respect of his teammates and Palmeiras fans. Now, at the age of 78, Alfredo is enjoying his retirement in his hometown. His story reminds us that, in football as in life, not everyone is a star, but everyone has their own role and value. Ademir da Guia was the biggest tragedy of the 1974 Brazil team, nicknamed O Divino the Divine. Ademir was the biggest idol in Palmeiras history, a talented midfielder with a leisurely, aristocratic style of play. However, at the age of 32, he was only given one match by coach Zagallo for the third-place match when everything was already decided. This is considered a crime against beautiful football. Ademir accepted this injustice with remarkable calm, just like his nickname God. He did not complain. After retiring, he even entered politics and was elected as a city councilor of Sao Paulo. He was a man of calm, intelligence, and noble character. Today, at the age of 82, Ademir da Guia is still a living saint in Sao Paulo. He is still healthy, still exuding a pioneering spirit. His unfinished career with the national team does not overshadow his greatness, but on the contrary, makes people love and regret an outstanding talent even more.